Hi, I am Stephanie J. Block.
And I'm Mary Lee Fairbanks.
And you are listening to Season 4 of Stages Podcast, where we go behind the scenes and beyond the resume.
Join us as we talk to some of the greatest talents from theater, TV, film, and more. And then check out stagespodcast.net for past episodes, merch, and so much more. And love where you are now. Hello, my friends. I want to tell you about this amazing initiative brought to you by The Outsiders Musical. It is called the Stay Gold Project. The Outsiders Musical, winner of the 2024 Tony Award for Best Musical, is committed to honoring young voices through the Stay Gold Project. It's an educational initiative inspired by this story that was written by a teenager about teenagers. With the lead grant from the legendary notebook maker Moleskine, this project includes free education resources, a youth ambassador council, and underwritten ticket access at no cost to young people. The Stay Gold Project is presented in partnership with the New York City Public Schools. If you'd like to learn more about the Stay Gold Project or to donate, go to outsidersmusical.com/stay-gold. That's outsidersmusical.com/stay-gold.
My friend, stay gold. My friend, stay gold.
Experience the magic of Disney this holiday season at the Museum of Broadway. Now through January 5th, explore the newest exhibit celebrating 30 years of Disney on Broadway. Get close up to dazzling costumes and props from all of your Broadway Disney favorites like Aladdin, The Lion King, Mary Poppins, and more. Fun and interactive, it's a front row seat and backstage pass all in one. It's perfect for the whole family. What are you waiting for? Grab your tickets at museumofbroadway.com and make the season bright.
Hey, turkeys, we're grateful for you.
Very, very grateful. We hope you all have the best Thanksgiving, most wonderful holiday season. It's a really good time of year. There's a lot to find gratitude for.
We must. So
We
even if you need
must.
to write it down and keep reminding yourself of that. You know, one thing that we do when we kind of spiral out of control in our household is to get us back to the present. You go, what do I see?
Mm.
What do I smell?
Mm.
What do I taste? What do I hear? And what do I feel? And it instantly brings you right into the present. And I guarantee you will find something, whether it's the smell of the turkey or, you know, the hand that you're holding when you're at your holiday feast. But again, just check in with your five senses and you'll find something to be very grateful for.
I'm grateful for you, my friend.
And you, my friend. Thanks.
Happy Thanksgiving. Today's guest is hilarious. When I was doing my research, my first stop was her website, where I saw her totally stupid in the best way, real, and I thought, okay, I'm going to enjoy this interview. She came to New York and she landed work on Broadway right away, debuting in South Pacific. Then she went on to originate the role of Sister Mary Robert in Sister Act and the evil stepsister in the 2013 revival of Cinderella. She decided then to move to Los Angeles and become a television writer because that's what you do. New York lost her, but she had some struggles breaking into the writing business. While working at a dinner theater in Los Angeles, she and her friend Constantine Rizzulli came up with the idea for a new musical, and they co-wrote Titanique. She played one of her idols, Céline Dion, in this smash off-Broadway musical parody, and New York got her back. Titanique is now on tour in Australia, Canada, and the UK. From there, she decided that one off-Broadway smash wasn't enough, so she co-wrote The Big Gay Jamboree with Jonathan Parks Ramage and Philip Drennan. It is currently running at the Orpheum Theater to raves. You can also catch her on the Emmy-nominated Netflix series Special. She plays Olivia, a poorer, less fashionable, but equally bitchy Miranda Priestley type character. It is a great binge. Please welcome Marla Mindelle. Marla Mindelle to stage, please. Marla, come to stage.
Thank you so much. Wow, what an
Woohoo!
intro. God, you sound like my mother.
Oh, I wish my mother sounded like that. That's a whole different Zoom and therapy session, though.
Yeah.
On your website, though, what made me laugh is you're a bamboozler.
Yeah, a singer, actor, bamboozler. Because
Yes.
because Stephanie, I am not a dancer, but I am a bamboozler. And
So
somehow
you are just going to fake it all the way, and you lead people to believe that you can do all the things. Have you always been that way?
a bamboozler? Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I've been a professional troll all of my life. Like my family, we just grew up with such a good sense of humor. We were always kind of digging at each other. It was kind of our love language. And yeah, and I feel like that's carried with me to this day. And I feel like you see it in my writing, you see it in my shows.
Hmm.
I don't take anything too seriously, including musical theater.
Okay.
And I love kind of making light of everything. Someone once said to me, like, there are two types of people in the world, people who see life through the lens of poetry and people who see it through the lens of comedy. And I
Ah,
certainly see it through the lens of comedy,
yeah,
everything, including
yeah,
myself.
Mm.
Yeah.
yeah. I
You
love
know,
it.
you say you're not serious, but when I think of those that have graduated from CCM, which you have, is that true?
Oh, that is
Yeah,
true. Oh, I went to
that
that
is true.
factory for
These
sure.
are serious players, and whether they're
Yeah.
serious vocalists or serious actors, like that program is no joke. It's very discerning who they welcome into your own words, the factory. Maybe you're a bamboozler, but you certainly the proof is in the pudding, and you
Yeah.
always come to the table with the goods. So, what did that look like? You're 19 years old or 17 years old, and you're auditioning for CCM. And how serious are you taking yourself at that point in your life?
Oh my God. I mean, musical theater, I was eating it, breathing it, sleeping it. I grew up in a musical theater household. My father was a composer. My mother and father met doing 110 in the Shade in
Oh,
Arizona
you're
Community Theater.
kidding. Are they
So,
Wow.
Audra and Will? Are your parents Audra and
you know what?
Will?
I don't know, but that I don't think so because then they did Oliver together. And I think my dad was the guy that more, you want more? And then my mom was in the ensemble.
Oh, okay.
But they
All
met
right.
they met doing community theater. And
I
then,
love that.
when my mom was pregnant with me, she was listening to Evita. So when I tell you that I popped out of the womb like singing show tunes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to go, I followed in my father's footsteps. I was going to be a musical theater star. And I went to this college. And it's so funny that you talk about, some people being really welcomed by the factory and some people kind of being like the outliers.
Yeah.
I
Mm.
was certainly an outlier. And the co-authors of Big Gay Jamboree, Jonathan Parks Ramage and Philip Drennan, we were called the Unholy Trinity by my college professors. And
What did he mean by that?
because
Do
we
you
were
have,
just
can you discern what the heck he was meaning?
just because we did not subscribe to the system. It's like I got there and
Mm.
I kind of saw through everything. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
either you're gonna kiss butt and you're gonna be like this little musical theater robot who's gonna conform, or if you're a strong, kind of confident woman like myself that knew
You're going to
exactly
shake it
what
up.
she wanted. And some people, they don't like that. And
Yeah.
so I don't think that I was necessarily, I think I was respected by my teachers, but I don't think that I was necessarily welcomed.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
interestingly, that kind of drive of not being accepted, of feeling like I wasn't the favorite, of not getting cast in college productions, really, really fueled my fire to say, okay, well, you guys don't think that I'm going to be anything, or I'm just going to be one of these people that graduates and goes to work in a restaurant for
I'll
20
show
years.
you.
Yeah, I'll show you. And so that
Hmm.
mentality has kept me driving 20 years later. So in a bizarre way, I kind of owe it to them for not being so coddling to me, for being the exact opposite, because it gave me that passion.
When I was researching and looking into all the things you've done, that's what occurred to me. I said, this woman does not look for approval. And you have great, what I call like life's shock absorbers. You just hit the bumps and you just keep going. It doesn't stop you and you don't take no for an answer. And I think that kind of resiliency in life is key to everything. It's key to all success, that kind of resiliency.
I think certainly in this business, I mean, I've been pounding the pavement for 20 years, and I'm still here. I'm still like probably one of the last people in my college class that is still doing, musical theater. And everyone has said no to me. Like nothing has ever come easy to me. Like, yes, yes, yes. I worked consistently in my 20s, and I'm very, very grateful for that. But like, I was never handed anything like so many people can be in this industry, or a rare few get handed a lot. It was never like that for me. And certainly with writing, when I moved to LA, I was like, well, I'll just be a writer if I can't, do all the things that I want to do on Broadway. And it wasn't handed to me then either. Like
Yeah.
the last chapter of my life has been like this bizarre fluke that has really, really led me to the most authentic version of myself.
It's no fluke, though. It's no
No,
fluke.
for
You
sure.
had to go through those challenges in order to pop out the other side and be authentically you. And nothing can sort of stop you now because you're on your own 2 feet.
And now I'm here, and I am a musical theater terrorist.
Blowing it up.
Yeah,
But
I'm blowing it up.
listeners, while Marla was saying her whole sort of journey, she used the word, I'm still doing it. You're creating it. And that is a
That's
whole
the
other
difference.
level of artistry, of guts, of risk that I so appreciate. It was COVID when I realized, oh my God, I'm not making these things. I always thought I was like, creating opportunities for myself and this artistry and this sort of rehearsal. And no, I was lucky enough that it was being offered to me. Now, I had laid the groundwork and the foundation to arrive at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And so when everything stopped, I went, oh crap, no. I haven't been making this happen for me. I had created something and planted seeds that were popping up for me. But now that it's all stopped, it really is up to me. I found myself being kind of an empty vessel going, Stephanie, you got to dig from the bottom up. And that is a whole different skill set, a whole different discipline, a whole different sort of self-encouragement that I thought I had. And I was completely lacking in all of those things until I realized and made myself do it.
I don't know, maybe you both feel this way. There's no other option for me. I can't think of anything. Honestly, I wish I could. I wish I could think of something else to do. It was always like I have to make it. But let me tell you something. When I was in Los Angeles after a decade on Broadway, I lost everything. I'm very open about this. I lost all of the money that I saved. I lost like my home at some point. I lost friends and family. I was working in a restaurant, and I really started to think like, and then of course the pandemic happened. So then, like you were saying, it throws everything into question. What am I doing with my life? There have been moments where I have been so confident in myself, but then at the same time, I have been like, well, maybe the universe is telling me something, and that is to give up. Um, but I think that I don't know. The resolve to be a creator finally worked out for me. And now I feel like I have been given this kind of second lease on life in a different capacity within musical theater, because that's also something that I kind of struggled with. I don't know if you feel this way now as a creator of having authority over a podcast and getting to do something creative that is different every single week with different guests and different conversations. I really found that I was struggling doing the same thing 8 times a week. And I still struggle 8 times a week with just anxiety and perfection and getting everything right. So having the ability to come back in this second chapter as somebody that has creative authority, who gets to, write lines and shape things and change jokes, that has been the most rewarding thing about my second, I keep calling it my second chapter, but that's really what it feels like.
Yeah. If the 8 times a week and the formula of what that looks like was difficult, and I'm going to use, because I'm not a writer, the word boring, if that was starting to become stale and boring to you, is that why you love audience participation so much? Because it's always shaking things up? No, I'm serious. That
No,
is
it's a great
something that
question.
I think is very singular to you, that when you create, your audience is part of the evening. It's part of the event.
It's very interesting. It's not boredom when doing 8 shows a week. It's this anxiety of perfection, of making sure. I get very scared, honestly. I suffer from terrible stage fright because I want to hit the notes the same way and have and not crack, and oh God, am I going to stumble over a line? So it becomes like this real kind of internal battle, not boredom. I think I love the art form so much that I just want people to think that I'm good at it. And so when I left musical theater and I moved to Los Angeles and I was working in a dinner theater, I found that one of the things that helped me with my stage fright, and also not only working at dinner theater, but I worked at Ellen's Stardust Diner, I worked at a singing ice cream parlor. Everywhere I have worked that is not musical theater has been an establishment where it's some sort of serving food and audience participation. And I found that one of the things that really, really helped me get out of my shell and my body and feel on the same level as people is including them in the process and being on the same plane as them. So I know that it is probably terrifying for them, but it actually brings me a lot of relief to be able to talk to people like human beings and also have the ability to not do the same thing 8 times a week, to be able to give myself some sort of variable, to be able to talk with someone like a human and be like, hey, we're in this really uncomfortable experience together. So I know it might seem daunting for other performers, but for me, it actually brings me a sense of deep comfort to be with the audience and feel communal and feel like
it's a connection.
Just at a stupid, silly dinner theater, you know?
Yeah.
I love breaking the fourth wall, but I do
Me
love
too.
having, now, if it's my concert, that's one thing. If it's a book musical, I do like having the script. And I do have a theory. Follow me on this. If you break the fourth wall, you're getting a Tony nomination. It's just
Really?
happening. Yes. Go all the way back. Like I will watch shows and I'm just going to throw out like, as soon as I saw Promises, Promises, I was like, oh, and there's his Tony nom. Not that he didn't deserve it, but as soon as you have that connection with the audience, there is this sparkle and a
Electricity.
sort of shakeup that happens that makes you're no longer the spectator, you're part of the show. And that's the moment that you walk out of the theater and go, oh, he was so good. That was so special because you just gained a friend. And
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
is
yeah.
going to equate a sort
Yeah.
of personal relationship, which then shows itself in other ways. And I don't care. I mean, I attribute that to Cher. I broke the fourth wall within the first 40 seconds of the
Yeah.
play. Hugh Jackman, guys, go all the way back. If you're breaking the fourth wall, you're getting a nom.
Well, here's my theory on this. Okay, so here's the theory from an energetic standpoint, right? The show itself and the people on the stage are one energy unit, right? The audience is another. Now, they do feed off of each other. They totally do, right? We feed off the audience feeds off what we're giving them, but it's never acknowledged. When the fourth wall is broken, that
It's that
energy
bridge.
exchange becomes acknowledged by both parties, and that's what builds it, and it rises up into something different.
I love it. It was it just kind of happened. It was happenstance in Titanique. We were like, oh, what are we going to do for this part? Marla, why don't you just like improv a section as Celine? It's like stand up in a way. So at first they were like, well, we just don't know, Marla, you're kind of good at improving. Just like give it a shot. And it became the standout of the show because every single night you would see something different and people were coming back like 6, 12 times. And it really also kind of spun the concept of like musical theater as we know it, on its head a little bit because you have somebody doing something that you just never know what's going to happen. And I kind of love that. I love shaking up the art form of musical theater too. It can be very standard. It can be very homogenized, and to have something like weird and bizarre and outside the box and pushing boundaries. And that's what I love about Big Gay Jamboree too. I mean, it's a very different concept than Titanic. It's about like a modern day, basic bitch wearing a Rent the Runway dress who gets trapped in a musical and she has no idea how the fuck she got there. So she has to utilize the audience to help her escape the walls of the theater. And so that's been really, really fun too, to like have the audience like sing along or like help me. And it's been great. And it provides me some relief to just be on the same level, to be like, you know what, we are in this together. But I will say this, I went to go see Cabaret, and Cabaret, Eddie Redmayne is coming up on the sides and he's like, oh my God, you look so beautiful. And everyone was like trolling me and touching me. And the gorilla, and if you could see her through my eyes, was like scaring me. And I was like the audience member that they just kept coming back to. And I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. No, like this is karma. This is karma for being such a troll.
I feel that way with mariachi bands. Look, I just want to have my chips and guac.
Yep,
If I have not
exactly.
invited you into my sacred space,
Please go.
I think you're very talented.
Right.
And we'll be right back. I want to talk about the creation of Big Gay Jamboree. Tell me if I have this story right. From what I understood, you wrote it for a film. It was supposed to be a film. And then that deal fell through. And Margot Robbie happened to see you in Titanic, thought you were amazing, reached out, asked if you were doing anything. You said, yeah, I got this thing. And now she produced it with you off Broadway.
That is nearly perfect. The only detail I will add is, yes, it famously fell apart, but at the time when I sold it as a movie, the person that was intended to produce it was Margot Robbie.
Oh,
And
I did not understand that.
Yeah. So it was, so I went to LA being like, oh, I made it on Broadway. How hard can it be to make it as a writer? And let me tell you, it was pretty goddamn hard. And as I said, I famously lost everything, and I was doing dinner theater, and I got two things off the ground that kind of also sort of fell apart. One was this movie, The Big Gay Jamboree. I wrote it with Jonathan Parks Ramage, who I went to college with, and Margot Robbie was set to produce it. And I was like, oh my God.
Was it a star vehicle for you, or was it just
no?
So you were going to write it and then release it?
Yes, because I could not have greenlit a $30 million movie if I cut off my own arm. It's a much different business. So we were trying for years to find an A-list actress that could greenlight, a big movie musical. And we just could not find one. And so then our option ran out at the studio that bought it, and it fell apart. And I was devastated because I had worked 4 years, and it is so hard getting any creative project off the ground. And in the meantime, I was working this rinky-dink dinner theater, and I wrote Titanique on a literal lark. I was like, nothing will happen with this. Like, this is just like something to take my mind off of how sad I am.
Wow.
And what do you know? Titanique blows up. We take it to New York. It becomes a huge hit. And who's sitting in the audience? Because they're a huge Céline Dion fan, but Margot Robbie, who then, months later after Barbie opened, emailed me out of the blue. And I said, hey, Big Gay Jamboree, I think would make a great musical if it's not going to be a movie. And that was in August of last year. And a year later, we had revamped it, and it opened at the Orpheum in September. And it just was one of these kinds of kismet kind of experiences where she was like, all right, let's do it. Let's go for it. And it's been like the greatest dream come true, because I thought Titanique was one dream, and it is a dream, but to have two at the same time within 10 blocks of each other.
That's unbelievable.
It's amazing.
Unbelievable. Are you composing something in the now? Is there something new in the works?
Oh my gosh, I don't, everyone keeps asking me that, but it's
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
What are you, a slacker? It's not like you've been doing anything.
I want to have another. I want to be a prolific Jonathan Larson-esque writer and write 50 billion songs for rent. I'm so exhausted. I don't, you know what it's like, doing a show 8 times a week. It's the most fulfilling thing in the world. It's so exciting, but then at the same time, it's hard for me to even take a walk every day.
Yeah.
I feel old.
Yeah. Your writing partner is still in Los Angeles. Is that right?
He's in Los Angeles. And so one of the beauties of Big Gay Jamboree, it's one of the best things about it, in my opinion, aside from it being done and having Margot and her support, is that Jonathan and I went to college together. Philip Drennan, who was part of the Unholy Trinity, went to college together in the same class, and Connor Gallagher, our director choreographer, in the same class. So the 4 of us have been best friends for 20 years. And we had all parlayed into different elements of theater. Jonathan became a novelist, Connor a director, choreographer, Philip a musician. And so it all just happened that we were able to come together and build this thing so fast and share the same brain. And it was just a dream-like kind of process, where it just, everything felt so wonderful and funny and amazing. And I am just relentlessly #grateful, which you see on Instagram and you're like, oh, come on. But honestly, that's really how I feel. To do it and to be able to do it with my best friends is the greatest gift.
What else could you ask for? Right.
Exactly.
Do you write with people in mind, or do you just write and then cast later?
The only person, this is so funny, but the only person who has been my muse this whole time is Constantine Rassouli, who played Jack in Titanique, who co-wrote Titanique with me.
Yeah.
I brought him into Big Gay Jamboree. He was the only person that I had in mind for one of the parts. And I was like, guys, we got to put Connie in this, because he's my muse. He's my husband. I live with him. I work with him. But other than that, it for this particular project, because it was happening so fast, it happened within about a year. I mean, the movie process was probably like 5 to 8 years, but Off-Broadway took 1 year. But that had been a complete blank slate. So we got to, just work with a casting director and cast people that we thought would be appropriate. And a lot of them remained through from the very first reading because they were just so perfect. And then, you start writing jokes for them in mind, and and then you fall in love with them. And that's been really,
Mhm.
really wonderful.
Mm.
I mean, relationships are so important. I think they're one of the major keys to any success. People have great ideas all the time. So you have to have the follow through, right? And the drive to go after the great ideas and to figure out stuff you don't know how to do in order to get it on its feet. But you have to have the trusted relationships to call upon to
Oh
help
my
see you
God.
through. If you and it first of all, it says a lot about people to me when I see long-term friendships.
Mhm.
I think when I meet people who don't have a lot of long-term friendships, I'm always a little curious, like,
Totally.
like,
Mhm.
Totally.
well, I wonder why
What's
that
going
is.
on?
But
Yeah.
when I see people who have 20, 30-year friendships, I'm like, okay, well, there's something about that person. You know, they're a good friend when they have
Yeah.
long-term friendships like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if that is combined with follow through, curiosity, fearlessness, you can accomplish anything.
It's so tricky too when you bring business into it or you bring in creativity because as more and more cooks are in the kitchen, like egos can start to flare. And I was really nervous, honestly, coming into this. And I remember having a conversation with the three of them, and I said, at the end of the day, I know how important this is to all of us, but my friendship with you is the most important thing. And I would
Mhm.
hate for anything to happen because famously you hear of collaborators not speaking to each other anymore,
Right.
and things go down the drain all the time, and it's really sad, and so it was paramount for me to keep my friendships. And I'm glad to say one of the best things about this is that because we all have known each other for 20 years, and we were just so excited, there were just no egos involved. And it also goes beyond just the four of us. Our music director, Adam Laird, went to CCM. One of our wig people is from CCM, so a couple wig people are from CCM. So it's kind of like this all in the family thing where we've gone through what we call like musical theater war camp together. We've gone
Mhm.
through the trauma of theater boot camp, and we've emerged all still friends, which is amazing.
What I also think is really like super elevated is that you're not just writing, you have put a stamp on something that feels singular. The camp of it, the pop culture of it. Like, I feel like you are the leading voice in
Oh,
crafting
thank
our
you.
art form in that way. When you collaborate, do those that are around you, your dear friends, are they of the same sort of understanding of pop culture and the same sort of comedy, or do you gather from them and then shape it in your voice?
Honestly, we all watch the same TV shows. We all have the same comedic voice, and it's kind of important for us. I don't know. Theater has changed so much, and it certainly has changed post-pandemic as well. And the audiences are changing. And I
Mm.
think the greatest thing that we learned from Titanique is that we were just doing everything to make each other laugh. And then there was like this
Mm.
whole kind of cornerstone of a very like niche, queer, campy marketplace that was just coming out of the woodwork, being like, it feels like you wrote this for us. So, I feel like what I'm trying to do now is trying to bring theater to kind of our generation, a little bit younger than the typical Broadway audience. I think that there's a real market for off-Broadway, risk-taking, bizarre, campy, queer voices, and that's really what I has become my home. But I'm happy to say that every single person that has worked on this has been completely deranged like me, and we all share the same sensibility in reality TV, the same YouTube video jokes. Like we're all crazy, and so we say to each other, if we get it and we laugh, somebody in the audience might not get it, but there's something for everyone.
Look at Oh Mary, right?
Yeah,
Talk
of
about
course.
camp.
Right, exactly.
And even Death Becomes Her. It's so campy and ridiculous. It's just, and everybody's loving this. And maybe it's the political climate. Maybe we just want
Escape, escape,
ridiculous
Totally.
escape,
and
escape.
camp and
Yep.
yeah, over the top because we're
Yep.
subtle isn't cutting it right now, you know?
Yeah.
But it seems to be everywhere right now, and there's a real hunger for it. There's a need, it seems like.
When Titanic was first debuting, we had waited 2.5 years. I was like, oh, this will never happen. The pandemic, it had been a racial global reckoning. We all emerged with no money, like having social anxiety. I was like, no one is going to want to come to a basement of Grisettes and spend money for a silly little Titanic parody when we've been through something that was so deeply globally traumatic.
Yeah.
And I was
Mhm.
shocked when people came up to me and said, all I want to do is laugh right now and escape
Yep.
for 90 minutes. And here I am again at the precipice of, this election and the turmoil that we're facing as a country. Right after Trump got elected, it was a full house because, again, people just want to laugh.
They want to check out.
Yeah.
Did you produce Titanic?
No, I didn't. I had the opportunity to raise money, but at the time it was right after the pandemic, and so I reached out to every single person that I knew. But Ty and Connie, who are my co-collaborators in that, they did raise money.
Okay,
So
because
they are
I heard you
considered
say you
co-producers.
didn't have big producers breathing down your neck, and I wondered if you, in a different interview, I heard you say that, and so I was
Oh,
wondering
yes.
how it got produced in that way, where you had the freedom.
In the beginning, we had zero producers for about 3 to 4 years that we were doing it. We were doing concerts and just maxing out Ty, the director's credit card. I bought my Celine Dion wig on Hollywood Boulevard. I rented my dress from Rent the Runway. I mean, we had literally no money. We call him a gay wizard. Connie made all the props from Michael's. I
I
mean, it was
love gay
just,
wizards. I need more gay wizards in my life.
Who doesn't?
Connie, come call him.
Connie,
I need gay wizards.
he'll make anything you want, any dress you want. No, so there was no money and there was just no one like breathing down our neck being like, oh, we don't know about that joke. We don't know. Maybe you should cut this,
Right.
cut this song. We just made what we thought was funny. And we've given a lot of freedom, honestly, with Big Gay Jamboree as well. That Margot is an incredible partner and also so smart and really gave us a lot of free reign while also giving us, very, very good notes in terms of character arc and stuff like that.
So
But
she
leaving
has
all,
a
like, the
bizarre
sort-
sense of humor as well.
I think that if she was going to produce something called the Big Gay Jamboree,
Yeah.
she has to, but she loves musical theater. And like it's one of the things that I love about her so much. She was so integral to the process and she would come out for the workshops and she would just be, sitting there with like the biggest smile on her face, wide-eyed as if she was a child seeing theater for the first time. And that's the beauty of musical theater, is that it's so transcendent. So it's been wonderful to have her be a part
I
of it.
love to hear stuff like that about people that you admire from a distance, because
Yeah.
she seems like a force and she seems really smart. And to hear
She's
that
too pretty. I couldn't even.
I know,
like
and
I
she's
couldn't
so
even be in her
pretty.
realm.
Like,
I can't do it.
God,
She has
I
a
just wanna-
halo around her. She's a
Yeah,
little halo
right.
around her. And she's
Yes.
the nicest person. And she just was so smart with her notes and bought us cupcakes and has been just I don't know. She's been just so wonderful. And
That's
I'm
so
so
great.
grateful to her and our other partners, Wagner Johnson Productions. They've just been amazing.
Amazing. Now,
So
you
great.
said something that I love, which was we just tried to make each other laugh recently. And this is the problem with Instagram. You watch these really insightful and poignant clips, and then they ruminate with you, and you're like, I don't remember who said it. I don't remember when I saw it, but it made this massive impression on me.
Yeah.
There was this writer that he said, look, I don't care what other people think. It is my diary entry. And no one is going to come in and say, oh, you did that wrong, or that doesn't read right, or I don't believe that part, because it's my diary. So if I allow you into this personal space and you don't like it, that doesn't affect me at all because it's my truth, my humor, and my entry. So who cares?
I need to take a dose of his medicine.
Yeah, I was just going to say
mean,
that's a really
isn't
hard place
that-
to get to, though.
I think it allowed me to digest it in a way that I never have because as you know, my journal entries, my diary entries are just a stream of consciousness. And it's a whole bunch of stuff that if somebody were to look at it, I wouldn't give a rat's ass because it is completely mine. But if I'm going to present anything, all of a sudden I have all of these worries about others' expectations and how does that read and what is the tone and blah, 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 blah. Now, why do the rules change? If this is my whole heart, and I am exposing my whole heart, and I can read it and go, my God, that's good, or my God, that touches me, or that makes me weep. And then this other piece, I feel slightly disconnected because I'm trying to create something that will be accepted.
Yeah.
I bet you I'd have a much more successful go out of it with the unedited version.
It's
And whether they-
authenticity. It's just authenticity. And
Yes!
audiences know
They do.
if you are trying to manipulate them or if you're really being authentic. I mean, I started doing storytelling. It's a really interesting craft, not one I've ever done before. And the only reason I started doing it was to get better at podcasting because I was so afraid to share myself on a
Oh,
podcast.
really?
Yeah. And in the beginning, I would
That's
edit
so
myself
interesting.
out and it was all Steph. And I
No.
would say like 3
Yeah, it
things.
was just me.
Yeah, because I was like, no, that's stupid. And I would cut myself out of everything. And I
Oh,
was like, okay, this is not going to work. I cannot be so afraid to be me in the
and that's
world.
why people love listening to podcasts and love listening to the two of you, is to balance your opinions and get to know you as people. They
Yeah,
feel like they feel like you're their friends.
it
I'm
and it
glad to
really
hear that.
does feel that
Don't cut
way.
yourself out of this.
Oh
I
no,
want
I
I
you to
don't
know.
anymore. Oh girl, I'm
you
over
cut
that now.
Stephanie out. Let's cut her out the whole time.
Yeah, just get rid of
Let's get rid
me.
of her.
You
Yeah.
know, you've got your queer
But so
wizard.
I
I've
I
got my
started.
woo-woo, my
Yeah.
woo-woo yoga mama.
I don't know. I found it to be such a growth experience for me. I really love it.
I love that. I like that a lot. Honestly, we're all storytellers in some
That's
way,
it.
right? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like that's what I'm doing, is my version of my own story. And speaking about the journal entries and the thing that you were listening to on Instagram, where he's like, they're mine and I don't care what people think. I obviously I give off a sense of I don't care what people think, but deep down on the inside, I want people to think that what I'm doing is good and funny. And I didn't read any reviews for Big Gay Jamboree because I was too scared that it would deeply hurt my heart. When you look back at your career, do you feel like, well, fuck what anyone thinks, fuck
No,
everyone?
no, 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 no. I am just getting to the point. Oh God, I wish I could say fuck what everyone thinks. But I am getting to the point where I understand what a healthy balance looks like
Mm,
and who in my life is worthy of that weight, right?
I see.
Yes.
I, it, I don't read reviews anymore. That's for my own protection and preservation,
Yeah,
because I do know that it will affect me. So I just have
yeah,
to turn it off. But inevitably, I will get the text that says, "Are you happy? Oh, this is so great."
right, right,
Or "Don't you worry, baby. I thought you were fantastic." So
right,
it does,
right.
they're both coming at it from a place of love, but it
Yeah,
changes the course of my day.
yes,
But I don't know whether it's my age. I don't know whether it's because I've become a mama or whether I see our world and I go, look, I'm just here to create. And
yeah,
Yeah.
how it's received then becomes none of my business.
Yeah.
But that's just a mantra. I don't know if I truly believe that deep down in my core, because I think whatever leads us to tell these stories and expose ourselves in such a vulnerable way, then as a kid or something happened in our lives that is making us reach out and say,
Yeah.
hey, person in the back row, please
Please.
applaud for
Yeah.
me. Yeah,
right,
please
right. Please
accept me.
validate.
Please
Yeah,
see
yeah,
me.
Accept me.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And that's just part of the human aspect of being artists, I think,
yeah.
I think
which is a crazy catch 22,
it
right? We're
feels good
told.
when something you created is received in a lovely way. And of course we want to feel that and hear that, right? In everything we do. I don't know if the goal is to say screw what anybody else thinks. I don't know if that's the goal, because it's such a not negative but
Mm,
harsh one
yeah,
place
Yeah,
to
but
be.
it's
You don't want
if
to land
it doesn't have
harsh.
to be that. No, but the
Right,
giving
that's what I'm
away
saying.
of it, right? You can invest and put so much personal love and effort and investment, but then once you give it away, it's no longer yours. And
Right.
that's the healthy understanding,
mm,
right? If you
yeah,
keep holding on to it and white knuckling this art form, you're not giving it away. And so this connection, this beautiful connection that you spoke about between the artist and the audience, it can't be reciprocated,
Right.
because
right.
I've seen plenty of talented people that are keeping it for themselves, or
Mm,
I can literally see the energy floating above them, editing themselves, or,
Mhm.
that aura that Margot Robbie has, that halo, it doesn't exist because they're not letting go of it.
Right.
Once you let go of it, then what they do with it is no longer a part of you and
Because you
shouldn't be
can't
part of your
control how
business.
things are received, because people
No?
receive it with their own traumas and their own opinions and their own
Yes. Or
past
whatever they had for
experiences.
dinner.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
right,
literally.
right, right,
It has nothing to do
right.
with you really.
That's
But
right.
but then again, it always does feel good to hear,
Right,
that
right.
you've said
Oh,
something
yeah.
or done something that moved them in a positive way. I mean, because you're human. Yeah.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
can you possibly detach from that?
I've been reconciling with this because Titanique was this big moment and I have this next thing, and who knows what the next thing will be. I mean, I continue to plan on creating, but inevitably some things will be well received, some things won't be as well received. And how does one kind of navigate through that, when you're outputting, when you're an artist and you are outputting work that you want people to love and some people might not. And
Right.
how do you navigate that? And do you continue making art? I don't know. It's just,
Well,
it's been very fascinating. It's been very
here's my
fascinating to think
question
about.
to you. Do you think you are the whole picture, or do you align with the understanding that you're only as good as your last project?
Mm.
Well, you know what? At first, it was only as good as the last project. And then somebody said to me, you need to start thinking about everything as
Yeah.
a body of work.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's cumulative.
And has that has freed me in a way where before I was like, oh, a therapist also once said to me, compare and despair. And that is
Yeah.
what I was doing a lot. If you compare, you despair.
It's the
And
thief
so
of joy, we always say. If comparison's the thief
yes,
of
yes,
joy.
exactly,
Yep.
exactly. And so with this,
I
I was like, oh, I want people to like it as much. I want people to think it's as funny. I want it to be as big and blah, blah, blah. And I was driving myself crazy. And so now I'm trying to take a more cumulative approach to everything that I do.
All right, I'm going to show you ladies a yoga thing that we're all going to do from now on every
Oh,
time
I
we're
love it.
struggling with this. Okay. Have I
Yes.
showed you this, Stephanie? The fingers have. I don't think I've
Yes.
showed.
Okay, but
I did show you?
explain so that
Okay.
the listeners can also do it at
Okay.
home.
So you know that yoga thing that you always see where the index finger touches the thumb, right? It's a
Mhm.
yoga move, you see it all the time, right? It's a mudra, it's called. The meaning behind that mudra is that every finger has a meaning.
Mm,
So the
Mhm.
pinky is earthly desires,
okay.
the ring finger is illusions, the middle finger is your ego, the pointer finger is your highest self, and your thumb is God.
Oh,
So
wow.
when you do this mudra, you are requesting that your earthly desires, your illusions, and your ego fall away so that your highest self is free to reach for God. When you do, God bends to meet you halfway.
Wow.
Come on now.
I
Isn't
love
that
it.
gorgeous?
That's
Yeah, that is
beautiful.
I
gorgeous.
think
I'm going
that
to do
is
that
the
tonight
most
while singing.
gorgeous meaning.
I
Remind
love it.
yourself you're just reaching for something higher, and when you do, it will meet you there. I
Mhm.
love
I'm going to
that
add that to my
mudra.
practice. I've been trying to meditate. I've been journaling, and I'm going to
Oh,
start adding this. It's called mudra.
that's called a mudra. Hand
A
gesture
mudra.
yoga, the
Oh,
mudras.
love it.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to speak on your tinnitus and that
Please do.
struggle? Okay.
Please do.
So Marla and I actually connected because we both have tinnitus. So I DM'd her and said, are you struggling with this? What is your story? Do you have anything to relieve? And she trusted me with her struggle as well. So maybe you could talk about that a little. First of all, tinnitus is a constant ringing in the ear that you cannot get rid of. You never live in silence. This came out of nowhere for me shortly after giving birth. I have tried many things. I've seen Eastern and Western doctors. I've tried Chinese medicine, all of the things, and it hasn't gone away. And I try to breathe through it. But you said meditation, and even in my meditation, it will pull me out of a stillness or a centering. So talk to me a little bit with your journey with this crazy noise that just doesn't ever leave.
Barbara
I
Streisand has it too. Yeah.
Oh, really?
She talks about it in her
My
book.
father also struggles from it. There are many different versions of it. So you have ringing in your ears. I
I
have
do.
what sounds like I have Morse code in my ears, but or like ammunition or gunfire. So I will be on stage and I have hissing and I have a full symphony in my head, but my main sounds are like someone is like clicking or firing a gun in my ear and it wakes me up in my sleep. It can happen unannounced. I can sleep 10 hours and it's still, I have a bad day. Um, I got surgery. I tried an experimental surgery. I did everything that you did, Stephanie. I did Eastern, Western medicine. I did an experimental surgery to cut a tendon in my ear and
Oh
Wow.
my
Were
God.
you
everything.
worried about your voice, your instrument with that particular surgery?
I wasn't worried about my voice, but I did ask like how would sound feel? And the
Hearing
doctor
pitches and
Yeah.
whatnot like
hearing
that?
hearing pitches, hearing sound, and this doctor who, bless his heart, is a surgeon but knows nothing about musical theater and what I do for a living. He said, you won't feel any different. This thing that we are cutting is anatomically obsolete. And so I went through this experimental surgery and cut a tendon, and it has made everything 1 million times worse, so much
Oh
so
my gosh.
that I am so hypersensitive to sound now because I have no sound barrier in my left ear that essentially when I go on stage and when I'm singing, I have to wear like a fitted in-ear or plug. So I'm singing as if I am deaf. Essentially, I'm deaf when I perform on stage.
Wow.
That recalibration and adjustment was probably the worst time of my life. And I was, just to be very, very frank, there are days that I did not want to live, and there are still some days that are so bad that I just don't want to live. But I read something about tinnitus because I was trying to get into all these forums or talk to anybody, and you're really the only person, Stephanie, that has reached out and talked to me about it. And someone once said that they started seeing tinnitus and this symphony of sound as a beautiful reminder of life and being alive. And that's what I try to view it as. If it disrupts me, it brings me back into the present moment. And I also read something that your brain is neuroplastic, and after some time you begin to accept. And so I have lived with it for 5 years. It has been an unbearable 5 years of my life, but I'm still alive and I'm existing. And it's this silent disease that really no one knows about, and it doesn't seem like it's that bad, but it's like you're being tortured by your body,
Yes,
24/7.
yes.
Yeah.
When you sing, though, so you can only hear your exquisite voice in the sort of recesses of your brain, almost like you have a head cold. Is that the only way you can hear yourself sing?
It, half of my face and ear is underwater, so I don't even know. So I've struggled, very candidly. Coming back to theater has been really hard because it's all about hearing yourself, and it's all about sound, and
Yes.
it's all about pitches. And so I've been so scared about, like, am I on pitch? Am I on pitch? I feel like sometimes I'm guessing pitch, but it's so funny because when I sing something, if I'm singing on stage, I'm also such a goddamn critique of myself. I'll be like, oh, that note was flat. Okay, Marla, you have good pitch.
Hmm.
This whole thing that you don't have good pitch, that's all in your head. You
Yeah.
have
For you to
perfect
even
pitch.
know that you were
Yeah,
flat. Yeah,
yeah.
you're exactly right. That's right.
So it's been this crazy adjustment, and but I navigated the best that I can. I don't really, honestly, this is probably the first time that I'm speaking about it because it's so bizarre and not many people suffer from it. And if I'm
Streisand wrote in her book that
She did.
someone told her that it was a sign of high spirituality, that
Oh,
Oh,
it's like
wow.
signals, that are coming to
well,
you.
thank you, angels, for
Yeah.
this
Well,
nonstop
Yeah.
noise that never goes.
so you know how sometimes like I will sometimes get like a in my
Mhm.
ear, but it fades away. Is it the
That's
Yeah.
same
tinnitus.
sound?
Yeah, but
So
mine
yes,
But mine doesn't go away. So
yes.
mine is a little bit like an SOS, but it's a belt, it's a squeak tone. It
Ah,
will dissipate when I'm watching TV or there are other noises that will kind
okay.
of drown it out. But if I'm trying to meditate, if I'm trying to be quiet still, or it exacerbates, like let's say Vivi is so happy and she comes into the car and she's singing and then the radio's on and this noise is going. I feel like I lose my
Yeah.
mind, so I
Yeah.
have to literally look at Seb and say I gotta step away because there's too much sensory overload happening
Yeah.
to me right now and I'm about to lose it.
Well, I get that too, but I thought that was ADD. Like I'll get that feeling of like, oh my God, there's too many noises coming at me, but it's not necessarily like the high pitch thing. I always thought it was my ADD where I
But
can
no,
feel myself.
it's an internal noise that never goes away. Like
Wow.
I'm never
What
in silence. Never.
Yeah. What you
Wow.
experience, that sound, that is, if that was prolonged, what you
Always.
experienced, that would be tinnitus. It is your brain trying to, especially like with hearing loss, but it can also, mine came through just extreme stress and flying, but it's your brain trying to make up for a loss of sound. And not many people know anything about it because you think that it's your ears, but it's actually your brain kind
It's
of
cerebral.
misfiring and
Hmm.
creating different kind of neural patterns. There's not much research on it. It's not like LASIK where you can go in and,
Mm-mm.
get cataract or get, something to clear cataracts and all of a sudden you can see again. It's
Oh.
like it's something to do with cochlear hairs. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It
But
is crazy. And it's also met with the healthcare system with a bit of a shrug and like,
yes.
well, I don't know, because it's not life threatening.
That's how
It's a
that's how they
neurological disease.
yeah,
This is crazy. The CEO of Outback got it and committed suicide. Like it is an
I
Oh
didn't
invisible,
know
my
that.
God.
it's an invisible neurological disease where you are in pain 24/7. Yeah.
And I must admit, I know you're hearing Marla say tinnitus, and I'm saying tinnitus. I've heard it both ways.
Both ways. Yeah.
I don't know where the emphasis is on what
Yeah.
syllable,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
just go with us on
Yeah.
this. Anyway, thank you
Wow.
for being honest about that.
We will be right back with the 5 questions after a word from our sponsors.
If I were to walk into your closet, is there a garment or piece of jewelry, something that you will never get rid of because of the memories it holds?
Unfortunately, I get rid of everything.
You do.
Oh my God, I'm such a purger. I don't know
You
if there's,
do.
I mean, maybe my mother has jewelry at home she'll bestow onto me one day, and I will keep that
And
forever.
you'll keep that.
But other than that, I'm
Connie,
like
that's it. The only thing in your
yeah,
apartment you're
exactly,
keeping
Connie,
is
and I'm ready to get rid of him.
Connie.
Because we're married. It's crazy. No, I throw out everything.
That's
It's
how I
real. I'm
am.
like the opposite of a hoarder.
Wow.
I just can't.
Clean
Yeah,
it out. My husband
yeah,
gets
especially
very nervous
clothing.
every spring and every fall because I get the
Yes.
old bag stir, and he's like, "Oh God, what is she throwing
Mm.
away now?" I want to throw away everything. I'm just like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything that I would keep, but I'm sure at some point because everything is like Zara or like, there's nothing I have of sentiment in terms in terms of clothing or material things.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's got to be freeing.
Describe for me your perfect sandwich. And let me preface
Ooh.
this by saying I'm on day 4 of a 5-day fast.
Oh my
Oh,
I'm
God.
gonna
really?
I'm
Oh
gonna
my
You're gonna
eat
love
this
gosh.
this.
sandwich while you talk about it. Go ahead,
The
tell
perfect
me.
sandwich actually is from this place called Chick Chick on the Upper West Side. It's a Korean fried chicken sandwich. A fried chicken sandwich.
Oh
Inject that into my veins like heroin.
God.
With like spicy, with like a little sriracha or like one of those, like the orange mayo, which
Oh
who knows
yeah.
what's in that, but
Yes.
it's
Nobody
so
knows.
good.
Nobody knows.
That
Yeah.
is my favorite sandwich.
Oh, I'm
I will
so
say I
hungry.
went to a place called, is it Johnny Jim's? Jimmy John's? What's it called?
Jimmy
Anyway,
John's.
Jimmy John's. I went to Jimmy John's because they have a pickle sandwich. It's not bread, guys. They take a pickle, they
Oh my,
hollow out the
No.
pickle, and
wow.
then they put cold cuts, Italian cold cuts, and olive oil and salt and pepper and
That
anything you
sounds
want on
like the
there.
best sandwich ever.
Guys, my mouth is watering right
Oh
now.
my God, I'm so hungry, you guys.
Wow, wow, wow.
I get to
I
eat on
enjoyed it
Friday.
a
I can't
lot.
wait.
Oh my
Okay.
God. Amazing.
Well, we've been talking about it. This chapter of your life. What is the title of this chapter?
She's back, bitches.
Yes.
She's back, bitches. You thought you could get rid of me? I spent a decade in LA and here I am.
Can
I'm
you
back
say
in
it
New
like
York.
Celine Dion? Can you do that for us?
Okay, girlfriends. Bonjour, it's me, and guess what? She's back, bitches. Okay.
Perfect.
That's been a while. I have to like tap
Oh,
into
that
that.
was so
That's
good.
I have to just
perfect.
really go for it. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you've been arrested. Connie's coming to bail you out. What does
Uh-huh.
he assume that you have done to get
Oh
yourself
God.
thrown in jail?
He probably started a fight with an officer or something. He probably would think that I started that because I can be so stubborn. That is the one quality. I am so stubborn and I just have to be right. It's what I'm
Ah,
working on, but I'm
Are
sure
you
I
a
okay.
can't do it.
Taurus?
I'm a Capricorn.
Oh,
I'm
Capricorn.
even worse. And I'm dating a
Mm.
Taurus, so you can
When's
imagine
your
what it's like.
birthday?
Well, December 22nd. I'm right on the
Okay.
cusp of Sagittarius and
Okay.
Capricorn.
Yep. Yep.
My father and I share the same birthday, but he's
Oh,
not as stubborn
wow.
as me, which is crazy. But
My
oh my
daughter's a
God.
Capricorn. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
then you get it. They have strong personality.
Very strong.
Must be
Yeah,
right.
I know. Okay, last question. If you were a nail polish, what color is that nail polish and what's the cheeky little name?
Ooh. You know what? I'm gonna go back to my girl Celine. It would be called Selena-sance, and it would be gold. It would be gold because she's always in this
Yes.
gold dress. And honestly,
Ah,
I wear gold all the time. And every time I wear gold, I think of her because in Titanique, I would get my nails painted gold all the time. So
I love it.
Selena-sance, it is.
I
I
love
love
it.
it. I
Thank you
love
for your
it.
time. Thank you for your
Thank you for having
candor.
me.
Oh
Thank
my
you. Thank you.
gosh, it's our pleasure.
It was so fun to
Everybody,
meet you.
she has
Likewise, likewise.
two off-Broadway shows running. So check out Titanique and Big Gay Jamboree.
Yes, and Big Gay Jamboree closes on December 15th. So get to New York, go have a holiday treat, see the tree, and have a big laugh at the Big Gay Jamboree.
But we so appreciate your time and your talents. Thank you,
Thank
thank
you
you,
so much.
thank you.
Thank you. It's so wonderful talking to you both.
Be
Bye.
well.
Bye.
Bye.
You too.
Coming up next, what struck a chord with us? How great
So
was she?
great. Oh my
God.
gosh. Anytime, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. I don't know. I'm in two camps depending on where I am in the day. But I do believe that in the first couple seconds, you feel an energy, you settle in, and you ride the wave. But then there are other people where you're like, I'm not sure. And then 10 minutes in, you're like, oh, here we go. We're off and running. But
Yeah.
with her presence was like
Yeah.
really grounded, really authentic, and we were off and running right
She's
away.
super authentic. You know, what I love about her though is I feel like in my late 50s, I've sort of figured out some formulas to like how to get stuff done and
Mhm.
not to be afraid and to just jump, you know. I mean,
Follow your
I feel
fear.
like in my 30s, I would not have had the insights or the courage to do the things that I'm not afraid to do now. Look what she's not afraid of anything. Like she just jumps in. If someone says no, she's like, well, I'll figure it out for myself. And I love women like that. I mean, I love
The
people
figuring
like
out
that.
kind of people, I
Yeah.
love. Let's figure it out.
And you want to
Yeah.
work with people like that because you know it's not all going to fall on you. You want to like, I don't know, you want to surround yourself with people like her. I just think you can tell she's a cheerleader. You can tell she's a really good friend. You can tell she's super smart and she's
Mhm.
fearless. Or if
Mhm.
she's fearful, she doesn't care. She does it
No,
anyway.
you walk on through.
Yeah.
Oh, Gav, walk
Oh
on
gosh.
through. Wow. Um, yeah, and I also do love, it's really interesting because pop culture is not a
Yeah.
language I speak. It's
Yeah.
just foreign to me. And so when I meet millennials or people in their late 30s or even early 40s, this sort of fluency that they have with whatever, Real Housewives or the Kardashians and I kind of, I don't know, I shrug it off. I used that term earlier today in this conversation too, but I kind of go, how is that relating to me? But it
Mhm.
does because it
Mhm.
is present, because it is part of the younger generation, because it does have such a reach towards
Mhm.
people. And I was one of those voices like when Survivor came out, I thought, oh, reality TV, how long can this possibly last? And here we are 20 some years later, and that is still a genre of media that's at
Yeah.
the forefront. I don't know if I told you, in 2022, the casting director of Real Housewives reached out to me and was
No.
interested in having me as a Real Housewife of New York. They wanted a Broadway star to be
Oh,
part of this new cast because they were kind of cleaning house for the Real Housewives in New York.
did you entertain that?
Well, no. First of all, I'd be the most boring housewife you ever saw. They'd be drinking and fighting. I'd be like, "Can I have a
I'm
cranberry
gonna go
juice?"
journal. I don't trust anybody to edit our podcast. I've
Hell no.
never trust
Yeah.
anybody to edit my
Come on
life
now.
for consumption like
Come
that.
on now.
Never.
Did I get a big chuckle out of it? And did I think, oh gosh, they would be so disappointed if I went on the show? Because again, I'm boring, people. Very boring. Is anything new on your end?
Well, my son is not coming home from Spain. He's going to Italy for his next semester.
He loves it.
He's living on his
Yeah.
own. He's thriving. He's super happy. It's pretty, it's heart aching, but also joyful to
Yeah. You
watch,
did a great job, you know?
Time will
He's out
tell, but he's a
he's
very
out
happy
in the
human.
world,
He is.
legitimately in the world. Yeah.
The other fun thing that I did just last week was record a stories from the stage for PBS. So I'll let you know when that's going to be out and I'll, put a link to it and stuff. It was really, really fun. I enjoyed it a lot.
Well, since we last spoke, the Kiss Me Kate movie came out. I think it
know.
was well
I'm
received.
dying to see it. It'll be on Broadway HD and all of that, right?
It should do that. It should do BBC and PBS. So we'll
Okay,
keep
good.
listeners abreast of that. The Share book has come out in hardcover and in Audible. So that happened on November the 19th. So if you're interested, Share and myself narrate her book, memoir, part 1. So check that out. Man, her life is. First of all, her clarity in the remembering of details is unbelievable to me. Seb at one point goes, "Oh, I can't wait for your book to come out." We've talked about this. I don't remember what I had
Yeah,
for
but
breakfast.
you have all your journals to remind you.
It's true.
I have
It
no
is
memory
true.
and no journals. So
Okay, well, I do have that. But if you want to download that from Audible or Apple, please do. It is an incredible part 1
yeah, I'm
in her
dying to
life.
listen to that.
It's just extraordinary. Yeah.
And she's going to do a second book?
Yes, Mama, because this first book
Wow.
is like 480 pages.
But where
and
does it stop?
She's not even 30. She's just really
Oh
left
my God.
with Sonny, and she's about to go to New York to star in, well, to become an actress. And we all know that she stars in Come Back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean. But she really
Wow.
hasn't gone on her own solo stardom. She hasn't become the
my
movie
gosh.
star. Yeah, right. And even still, this
It's
part
so good.
1, it's illuminating and wild and shocking, and it's a roller coaster as you
I
would
can't
expect
wait.
it to
I'm
be.
definitely going to download it for my long drives back and forth to New York. I can't wait.
Perfect. Well, I love you so much.
I love you so much. Stages podcast is produced by Mary Lee Fairbanks and Stephanie J. Block. You can find us wherever you listen to your podcasts. Join us on social media pages or sign up for the mailing list at stagespodcast.net. That is also where you will find Stages swag. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share and rate and review the show. It really helps us grow. Big thank you to Noah Kaiserman and Garrett Healy for the original music, and Allison Arndt, who has been with us since day 1. See you soon.